try to balance some deficit numbers on the backs of the lowest paid workers in Nassau County. We've all heard this before, and beating that dead horse, I know is going to not fix this vote, because I know the way this vote is going to go. But I want you to know that there is an alternative. And you know, the alternative here, instead of trying to balance the entire budget on the backs of the workers, like you've done time and time again, like we're going to continue to do, is you could have raised taxes a little bit. And I'm going to give Mr. Schmidt the T word, because I know that just made his day. Oh yeah, I know, you're foaming at the mouth, can't wait to start talking. I'm going to tell you something. For the price of a 7-Eleven cup of coffee once a week, you could have saved every one of these jobs and kept every one of these services. And that's not bad for residents, that's good government, because you not only keep the services going, but you keep your people employed. And that's not irresponsible. Being transparent about a tax increase is what a good government official does. Misleading the public time and time again about no new taxes, that's political propaganda. And that's all I've been hearing from you guys for the last 2 months, and I'm sick of it. And quite frankly, I know you're going to lay these people off. And they know it too. And it's a shame. And this is the holiday season. This is the time with the 128 people we lost in June, their holidays are destroyed already. I know, because many of them are already in foreclosure. They did nothing wrong. They went to work every day, they did their jobs, and they were willing to help. And how many times have we met with this county executive? Mr. Schmidt says, oh, the union's got to come to the table. If you want to save your jobs, it's your union president. Go tell them to come to the table. I've been to the table more times here than I've been at home with my family. And yet, you know, it seems that no matter what we say, it always gets thrown back in our lap. Mr. Schmidt, you made a statement many times that it needs to be, the unions need to come and do their fair share in order to save jobs. But yet I noticed that the 11 legislative aides that were originally on the layoff list, you removed them. They're not going to be touched. But the people that work at DPW and DSS, right now we have areas of DSS that once again, we have caseloads going through the roof. Last time this happened 3 or 4 years ago, we had a tragedy where 3 children were murdered, and guess who they blamed? They blamed our members, your workers, and they made a scapegoat out of our members and your workers. And that was not because our people didn't do their job, it was because our caseloads were so high, they couldn't keep track of as many people as they're supposed to. And we're back to that again. And it was brought up by Mr. Denenberg, the electronic ears program for probation. And that's right, there's 3,000 of them out there right now. They don't even answer them, they don't even call in anymore. They stopped. Do our residents know that? Do our residents know that convicted felons that wear ankle bracelets are not even being tracked anymore? Do they know that they're not even, they have to write a letter, I'm told, by our probation officers. Their mother could write the letter for them. This is the kind of services that we're offering. You know, we were once the crown jewel of, I don't even say New York, of the entire United States. We were the county that other counties wanted to emulate. We had 1,200 parks workers. They're the most beautiful parks in the country. And we sit here today, as we are shutting down parks, I heard Mr. Walker say, or not shutting down, but closing their hours. And we're getting $25,000 grants from the History Channel to help restore buildings, but in June we laid off all the historic building engineers that do that for a living. That's the kind of disrespect, that's the kind of arrogance, that's the kind of heartlessness I see coming from you. And I know that, you know, we all have a job to do. You guys have a job to do, and I have a job to do. My job, I'm not up here making sound bites. I'm up here trying to help protect the livelihoods of hundreds and hundreds of workers. That's what I'm here for. And if you guys want to call that a soundbite, so be it. But I will always make those sound bites because it's unfair what you're doing to these people. It's unfair what you're doing to the residents. They're being misled. Their streets are not going to be plowed this winter like they normally were. Their people on probation are not going to be watched. Crime is going to go up. with the results of all these changes. Quality of life is going to go down because you're not going to have the parks that you always had. You're not going to be able to pull out of your driveway when you have to go to work in the morning as easily as you did. And we do have contracts going out there. I mean, for all the explanations I heard about 15 years, well, that's great. We're losing 385 people today. I don't want to hear about 15 years of traffic lights. I really don't. That's our job. That's our work. We shouldn't be spending $1.5 million for people to do work that we can do, as Mr. Denenberg showed, for $220,000. So, I would only ask that the holidays are here, and, if there's any chance that you can find it in your heart to try to work with us to save these people's lives here, their livelihoods, so that their husbands and wives and their children can continue to have benefits for themselves and keep their homes and not go hungry, not wind up on the DSS rolls. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be working together to make it better in Nassau County. I don't know why it seems, Mr. Schmidt, that you're always very angry, or you seem like you have contempt for both the union and the workforce, and I don't know why. We do not have contempt for you. We respect your position, but you don't seem to respect ours. And you seem to want to make it a challenge all the time, that it's us against you, and that's not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be all in this together. But if I gotta come in every time, and believe me, you think I want to come in every time and do this same routine? I don't. It seems that every time I come here, I have to plead with you to stop hurting my membership. Because, like I said, for the price of a cup of coffee a week, you could have saved all of these jobs, and you could have retained all of these services. And the residents don't know that. They don't understand that. When you say no tax increase, they think you're talking about $10,000, $12,000 in taxes. So it's misleading. So all I can say is, I hope you all have a nice holiday. And I hope when you're around with your families, you enjoy it. And God willing, the poor souls that we're going to lose and lay off today will somehow find the same thrill in their hearts that we're going to try to do. I don't think they will, though. Somehow I think this is going to be a hollow season for them, and they did nothing wrong to deserve this. And I'm going to continue to work with this county executive, and I'm going to continue to work with this legislature and see if we can come to an agreement. And some of the things that the young lady spoke about before have been brought up. We also have a third party we have to speak about, and that's the NYFA Control Board. And NYFA Control Board's in here for 4 more years. Think about what they asked us to do. They said, we want you to take a pay freeze for 5 years, and while you're at it, give us another $12,000 a year each. Is that reasonable? Is that something that I would realistically be able to do? It's either that or lose hundreds of members. That's the position I'm being put in. And I'm being put in there by the legislature and this county executive. Nobody else, my members didn't put me in that position. If that's the only option, then obviously the answer is we're going to lose a lot of members. That doesn't mean we're bad people. It doesn't mean that we're making a bad decision. It means that you put a gun to our heads and you didn't give us any chance of saving anybody's job. So let's try to work together so these people's lives are not destroyed, and the services that these county residents deserve, because they do pay the high taxes, they will be able to retain them. That's all I have to say.